Welcome, class. Today in JSS 2 Civic Education we are studying the protection of human rights, how human rights are defended and enforced in Nigeria and internationally, and what happens when those rights are violated. Knowing that you have rights is only half the picture. Knowing how those rights are protected, and what to do when they are violated, is equally important. Mechanisms for protecting human rights in Nigeria. The Constitution. The 1999 Constitution is the primary protector of human rights in Nigeria. Section 46 gives every person the right to go to a high court if their fundamental rights are violated. The Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure rules allow such cases to be brought quickly and cheaply compared to ordinary civil litigation. The courts. Independent courts, especially the Federal High Court, State High Courts, and ultimately the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, are the main institutions for enforcing human rights. When a government agency, police officer, or any person violates someone's rights, that person can take the matter to court. Courts can order that the violator stop the infringement, release an unlawfully detained person, and pay compensation for damage caused. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC. Established by Act of the National Assembly in 1995, the NHRC investigates complaints of human rights violations, educates Nigerians about their rights, and promotes human rights standards in government and business. The NHRC can receive complaints from individuals, investigate violations, and recommend remedies, though it cannot itself order compensation in the same way courts can. The Legal Aid Council of Nigeria provides free legal assistance to poor Nigerians who cannot afford lawyers. Access to justice depends on being able to afford legal representation, and the Legal Aid Council helps bridge this gap. The Public Complaints Commission, the Ombudsman, investigates complaints by Nigerians against government officials and agencies acting unfairly or improperly, even when there is no technical violation of law. The National Assembly plays a role in protecting rights through legislation, passing laws that protect rights, and through oversight of government agencies that might abuse rights. Civil society organizations and the media. NGOs, human rights groups, and investigative journalists play crucial roles in documenting human rights abuses, advocating for victims, and holding government accountable. Organizations like the Civil Liberties Organization, Amnesty International Nigeria, SERAP, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, and media organizations like Premium Times and Sahara Reporters have exposed many human rights violations in Nigeria. International mechanisms for protecting human rights. The United Nations Human Rights Council reviews the human rights records of member states, including Nigeria, through a process called the Universal Periodic Review. The African Commission on Human and People's Rights, based in Banjul, the Gambia, receives complaints from individuals and NGOs about human rights violations by African governments. Nigeria has been brought before the African Commission on several occasions. The African Court on Human and People's Rights, based in Arusha, Tanzania, can hear cases against African states that have accepted its jurisdiction. International human rights treaties, such as the UN Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which Nigeria has ratified, create obligations on Nigeria to protect rights and report to treaty monitoring bodies. Common human rights violations in Nigeria and how to respond. If you are unlawfully arrested, you have the right to know the reason for your arrest. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to a lawyer. You must be charged and brought to court within a reasonable time. Contact a lawyer, the Legal Aid Council, or a human rights organization. If you face discrimination, report to the National Human Rights Commission or seek legal advice. If you witness torture or inhuman treatment, report to the NHRC, civil society organizations, or the media. If a government agency seizes your property without compensation, apply to the Federal High Court or High Court. Civic responsibility includes not only knowing your own rights but standing up for the rights of others, especially the most vulnerable members of society. Human rights are universal. When any person's rights are violated, the rights of all are diminished.